Hello everyone. So whilst it might not look like anything's changed massively, you might be able to hear from the audio, we're in a new place. We've now got our own little office where we will be producing all our reviews from, bringing you the latest games, hardware and apps, and possibly putting on some new shows as well. So, with our first inaugural game from our new abode, this is North and South. I picked this game out particularly because it's an old classic title that anyone over about the age of 20 right now might remember. Certainly if you're in your 30s and 40s, you will know this game. North and South tells the story, in a game form, of the North versus South War, American Civil War effectively. You may have first come into contact with this game on the Amiga, Commodore 64 I think it was also released on, and some other systems as well. But my first encounter with this was on an Amiga A500, and I believe it might even have been the very first game I ever bought on the A500 for that matter. So, as you can imagine, when this dropped up onto the Play Store, I was very, very intrigued to see how the conversion had worked. No idea who owns the original rights to the game, but the guys that developed this have tried to do a faithful conversion effectively. So they've taken all of the old gameplay elements that work so well, the mini-games, the battles, and brought them bang up to date. So let's have a quick look. We always start on a giant world map, and here's our big world map. I'm basically the North, and I'm these two guys here at the moment. You have to move around the map, trying to take over territories, setting up supply lines, and avoiding the Indian and the Mexican. Bearing in mind this game was released originally quite a long time ago, and I'm sure politically correct would not be to have Mexicans sitting on the border trying to shoot people, or Indians running amok. But this is a game that was very much a sign of the times, as it were. And the idea, move your guys around, is turn-based on the world map. Then the South gets to have a go, and eventually we're going to meet and have to shoot each other. So at this point you might kind of be thinking to yourself, well, this is all kind of very turn-based. When you actually get into the battles, they become a real-time affair, although more limited in some respects than what you might expect. Again, this is an old title originally, even though the graphics have been brought up to date, the original game mechanics are on the old side. So don't expect the most dynamic of battles, but do expect very interesting strategic gameplay. Here the South managed to get some supplies through. And here we go into a fight. And you get these lovely little hand-drawn animations. So this is basically the battle stage. We have cannon, we have horse, and we have infantry. Now the idea is that units move across the battleground, and you've got very limited amount of control over them. But when they come near to the enemy, you can just move these, whoa, fire, fire, fire. You've got to start firing, here we go, let's try and kill a couple of these guys. And at the same time, my units are moving forward and off the battlefield, and they then come back on at the back. And you've got to then tap, and attempt to kill as many people as you can. It is a difficult game, it's a tricky game, it's not something that you're going to instantly be able to pick up and do incredibly well at. However, once you get the hang of it, it's a very, very dynamic game, and there's some great strategies you can employ. It's been so long since I last played this game, I suck so badly, but last time I played this was on the Amiga, and you know, you're talking over 20 years ago I think now. They've done a great job at bringing it bang up to date basically, keeping all of the kind of flavour of the original. The great graphics, you know, even if they've been brought up to date, the original graphics were no slouch as it were for the time. They were some of the you know, most groundbreaking out there. And just fantastic gameplay. If you like strategy games, especially, you definitely have to pick this title up. If you're into retro gaming and played the original, you're going to want to pick this up. If you want to see what games were like when they were maybe a little bit more simplistic, but more attuned to being brain-worthy, you want to pick this game up. Ultimately, North and South is one of the best titles to be released on Android this year, and it's a classic. Absolutely fantastic. It will currently cost about $2 in the Google Play Store.